Hey darlings, I haven't done a YouTube video in forever. I usually do about daily TikTok videos, but I figure I'm gonna hop back on here and try not to ramble a ton, which I have a tendency to do when I do not have a time limit. But yeah, I do not remember where I left off. Basically, I had been in polyamorous relationship with two people, Ronnie and Five. I moved in with them. Things were hard, y'all. Things were hard. There were things that were beautiful. There were parts that were super fun. It was like living with a new chosen family. But then there were struggles. So, looking at it now from a lens of a little bit of distance, what I think happened is I felt like I had this really big, phenomenal connection with Five. And then I saw his wife Ronnie have a really phenomenal connection with her partner Patrick. And I figured, okay, someday Patrick might move in and Ronnie and Patrick will be like this, me and Five will be like this, and we'll all love each other and be together, but it'll be like these two kind of solid couples because I do feel like polyamory is a spectrum. So you have monogamy on one side, you have super polyamorous on the other side, or monogamous rather. And I feel like I'm like, well, like not all the way super monogamous, but closer to that end. I really like the idea of pair bonding. I really like the idea of having one person you are like that is your ride or die, and then you still have other connections with other people. And so I just because of the nature of how I felt with Five, I kind of thought it would more be like that. And because of how I could feel the love and connection and compatibility that Ronnie and Patrick had. But, you know, expectations versus reality and all of that stuff. And Ronnie and Five had said, hey, we're like best friends who are intimate. And so I was saying, yeah, okay, cool. Like what I am thinking is going to happen. And when I moved in, we all talked about it and we thought, oh, we're going to just all date each other. We're going to be a throuple, a triad. And so we tried that, but I didn't really feel like Ronnie liked me. And I should have talked more about it and been more open about it, but I just felt confused. And I was like, I don't know. And I'm the kind of person, if I think somebody doesn't like me, I don't spend a lot of time with them. I have a lot of rejection sensitivities, and I really like when people want to spend time with me. If they don't, then I am not very likely to spend a lot of time with them. So that was my bad for not spending a lot of time nurturing that relationship. And then Ronnie and Five were very much still into each other, and they were very kind of dependent, I guess. And so they wanted to be in a place where they were like friends who were completely free to do whatever, but they weren't at that point really. And so it was a lot of confusing stuff for everybody. And I should have known more about me wanting to pair bond more strongly. And, you know, it was a lot. And then it came to a head when, you know, Ronnie had been shoving down all of her feelings and saying, hey, I'm totally fine. Everything's great. I'm wonderful with emotional control. And then finally it all came to a head because I did get a ton of time with Five. And they were very, very, they tried to be very careful with my emotions. And I was a wreck. I was not easy to live with. I got a lot of time with Five. And then eventually, you know, it kind of moved to it being almost split time where I would kind of have Five about half the time, Ronnie would have Five about half the time. And I was struggling with that because it was the first time I'd been in a relationship where I wasn't with the same person every night. And for me, I love that. I love being with the same person every night. It feels like almost a requirement for me. And so, you know, Ronnie had shoved down all of her feelings, all of her needs, because that's what she was taught how to do. And it all came to a head one evening where Five was having a, you know, tricky time. He found out his mom might have terminal cancer, and she was worried that he would really need a lot of support. And I had been violently depressed. I was the most suicidal I have ever been in my entire life, actively planning it out, actively writing goodbye letters, actively trying to figure out finances. It was a dark, dark place, and I had told them about it, and it was a burden for them. It was really, really hard to be with me. And I get that. Like, being around somebody who's depressed is hard. But yeah, she wanted me to toughen up. She wanted me to be stronger and wanted me to like fight with her and lay everything out and get everything out on the table. And I was like, I don't fight. Like, she wanted me to yell and swear and maybe name call or whatever. And I was like, I don't do that. And and it was just following me around, trying to get me to do it. And I think and the feeling of it was like this rage and this fury and this like, just fucking figure it out, like, let it out, fight me. And I was like, oh, nope. And then I told Five about it, and Five's like, okay, also I want more time with her. And then I was just like, okay. And I grabbed like a gallon bag of meat and like a bag of clothes, and I left. I lived with my good friend for 3 weeks. That was interesting. And then I got my place that I'm in now. So I've been living alone. It was June 1st that I moved in here. And yeah, I've been living alone for, what is it? It's October. It's been almost 5 months. Holy crap-a-noli, jeez. In that time, I had tried dating more people because I was still kind of with Five, and it was a rough summer because in his mind, I think he basically felt like I ruined his marriage, because I did want time with him, and I legitimately thought that they were just best friends. And so I didn't think like, oh no, you two need each other like a good amount, where I was thinking like, oh, he and I are like very compatible and all this stuff. Oh no, my battery's gonna die soon. So he was pretty distant and trying to find himself, and he has still been, not necessarily distant, but really starting to find himself. And I've been on a lot of different dates. There are a few people that I started to build a relationship with, and just all of it kept falling apart. And so it kept hurting again and again and again, where it's like, oh, this seems promising, and then yay, this one seems promising, no, maybe this one, no. And then now I am dating a person I am very fond of, named Basenji, and makes my heart so happy. So I'm really working on living in hope and excitement and just enjoying, and instead of getting super, super scared and being like, oh, is this gonna end? Because it feels like the most promising. But then there's the challenge of he has only done monogamous relationships, and I do feel like I'm more on that side, not completely monogamous. So it's kind of worked out currently because my squish partner, I don't know, Five, decided that he wanted to be celibate for a bit and really find himself. So I'm like, well, that takes that off. I don't have to worry about that. That automatically took care of itself. And then my other partner, like, we rarely get alone time. If we hang out, it's with their partner. So as far as like spices stuff goes, that's hasn't been a problem. So it's still navigating it. And Basenji has very much said, no, be you. Like, you do not need to change anything about yourself. Totally be you. But I know it's hard to share if you're not used to it. So yeah, it's been a ton to navigate. But yeah, like I said, I'm trying to live in hope and trying to be really excited about things. So that's a breakdown. That's me dipping my toe back into YouTube. And I don't know if I have anything helpful to share. I hopefully will later. Okay. I love you guys. Goodbye.